Hey guys, it's Joette with BalloonCoach.com, and today we are coming live to you from Valley Party Supply in Indiana with Liz Romani from PremiumConwin, and I'm excited about today's Lunch and Learn because we are talking about a mix of different balloons, inflators that can help you with helium. And I know right now some people haven't worked a ton with helium, and then other people are trying to start working more with helium. And she's going to share with you an inflator that I've had for 20 years. They've upgraded it since, but the Dual Split-Second Sizer is the first inflation tool I had when I bought my business in 2003, and I absolutely love it and its versatility. And now it has more bells and whistles. And then the other equipment that she's going to talk about with the item that a lot of people use in our storefronts, the Duplicator 2. I personally have not used it, so I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. And then also a 10-foot hose. Woo woo! I have worked with those and they are wonderful. So Liz, without further ado, tell us a little bit more about you and how people can contact you when they have more questions about the PremiumConwin equipment. And just to let you guys know, Liz will be at BalloonCoach Balloon Boss Summit in Orlando in November with all these. And so those people who haven't worked with the helium a lot, you can actually use high float and put it into the balloons and use these inflators and get more chances to work with it and then get a discount for purchasing it. So I just want to make sure you guys know that. And Liz, go ahead and tell us about these wonderful pieces of equipment.
Yay! Thank you, Joette. That's fabulous to be here. I'm excited to join you in Summit in November. And for those that haven't signed up, it's definitely time to sign up because literally have heard this from multiple balloon artists that Summit is the only industry event that works on your business and gives you tools beyond just decorating. So you get the hands-on decorating, but you guys, you get to learn how to sell the products. You get to learn how to market, how to find your right customers. It's literally brilliant. So when you're ready to like step up your game and you understand how to do techniques and how to make balloons, Balloon Boss Summit is the one to join. So definitely sign up. I'll be there to answer all your questions. You can test and try out the equipment while I'm there. And if you're having issues, guys, the first thing I want you to ever to do, if you have a question concerning your equipment or something's broken or needs repaired, because we know these things can happen. Bumps and bruises occur once in a while during transportation and things. So the first thing I want you to do is to go to PremiumConwin.com, and in the right-hand corner, there's the drop-down menu that says Contact Us. So you're going to do that, and you're just going to fill out the request there. You're going to just fill it out, basically sends an email to our customer service department. So if you don't hear anything, and you really should hear something within 24 or 48 hours, depending on the time of day and day of week that you make your inquiry or request, you're welcome to reach out to me and I can follow up on that for you. So I'm Liz Romani on Facebook, or you can email me at lizr@conwinonline.com. So either way, you can reach out to me. And sometimes I know tips and tricks to help troubleshoot your equipment. So if I can be that first point of contact for you, by all means, I'm happy to do that. So I'm your connection to PremiumConwin. So you're welcome to reach out to me, to call me or whatever. I'm here with Julie. This was actually my first balloon job was here at Valley Party Supply. I was the manager of the store for many years, and Julie's now the balloon queen, so she handles all of that here. She's going to be our camera holder here, so we're going to flip it around, and I'm going to walk you through our first equipment. You're going to unbox it with me so you can see what you get when you receive one of these, and then we'll go through connecting it, all the bells and whistles and features of what each machine does, and understanding the differences of what makes sense for you and your business based on what you do for your customers. So I'm gonna give the camera to Julie and we're gonna flip it around here.
Thank you, Julie.
Okay, so we're actually gonna start with, can everybody see this? Oh, hang on. Are we, there we go. Does that work?
Yep. Yes.
Oh. All right, so Duplicator 2. When you get your Duplicator 2, it comes with a couple different pieces. The first thing you're going to get is the actual machine itself, okay? It's small and compact. It has a little bit of weight to it. It's got a pretty sturdy motor in there. But this is basically what it looks like. On the back, you have your helium gauge. I'm going to show you how all of this works and connects together. But this is what the Duplicator 2 looks like. As you see, it has one nozzle, inflation nozzle for latex balloons. And on the other side, it has a nozzle for foil balloons, okay? So that is your machine. It comes with the quick connect hose. So this is literally really simple. This is the gauge and the connection point that you're going to actually connect to your helium tank. Okay. We'll do that in a second. But the other things it comes with is a foot pedal and a power cord. So that's everything that comes with this equipment. We're going to go ahead and plug in the power cord. We're going to plug in our foot pedal. You can see everything, Jules. Yeah. Okay. With the hose, it's very simple, you guys. This is the special quick connect application, which you're going to absolutely love. It literally snaps right on. It's literally that simple. If I want it off, I just pull back on it to release this connection. So again, I'm going to show you. Can you get close? I'm going to show you how simple this is. Ta-da! That's literally all you have to do to unconnect it, pull back and take it out of the place. Now you're going to line up the threaded point of the connector piece, and you're just going to basically thread it onto your helium tank. Okay. So bear with me, because am I doing that the right direction? Maybe not. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Takes a minute. It's tricky. Lining that up. Okay. You can see on this little thing is a handy little cutter tool. So this is where you can slide your ribbon right in between there to cut it. Okay. Also, there's a little piece here that's for balloon discs, but most people these days don't use the balloon discs unless you're like a grocery store. I'd say most balloon artists these days know how to tie their ribbon into the knot. But this is, you know, if you're going to put some balloon discs on there and you don't want to tie your balloon, that's where you would store those. Okay, we're going to plug this in. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly turn the helium tank on. You can see that the hose, there's pressure now in the hose, right? And if you look here on the gauge, you're going to see that there is pressure now here, and you can adjust the pressure with this gauge here if you need to. And all of those instructions are found with the machine. By the way, guys, I want to mention that anytime you get a brand new piece of equipment, you always want to register it, because you get, I think with the premium line of equipment, there's a 2-year warranty on it. So you would just register that at PremiumConwin.com. So our machine is now on. As you can see here, it comes with a foot pedal to activate it. Okay. Here is, let me just move that out of the way. Here is the automatic foil valve. So if you have a foil, it's not a sizer, it's just going to literally inflate your foil. Hang on. Okay, so that just stops with the pressure automatically. Sorry, Jules, I'm gonna let that go.
That's fine.
Here is where you're gonna inflate your latex balloons. It also comes with a timer. So right here, you can increase your size. So if you want all of your latex balloons to be exactly 11 inches when they're inflated, you're gonna set that to whatever you know, timing function that is. So I would suggest running a test when you get the equipment and, you know, trying the different sizes to see what size you're comfortable with and looking for. But the really great thing about this piece of equipment is that when you set it, and I don't actually know what the setting is for for the for the size that we want. So we're just going to guess right now.
I think it's 0.9.
0.9. What?
Yeah.
What was it?
0.9.
0.9. Okay, so that would blow up my balloon quite a bit. All right, hang on.
That's an 11-inch.
0.9 is 11-inch. Okay, so the really good thing that I love about this machine is that when you set it, no matter who is inflating, so if you have a staff member inflating, you're always going to get the same size consistently every time. When you're inflating manually on like helium tank, you're just sort of eyeballing it and guessing. This allows you to have consistent sizing no matter who is inflating. So, woo! Oh, that's perfect. So look, the thing about the Duplicator 2, this is essentially aimed at retail helium balloon shops. Whether you have a brick and mortar store or you just do helium balloons, this is the machine that you want, because the difference between the Duplicator 2 and the Dual Split-Second Sizer is there's more, while that one has more capabilities, which we'll go over in a minute, when you're inflating balloons for a bouquet, whether it's latex or mylar or a mix of both, you really need to have one hand free to then tie your ribbon. You don't want to be inflating 2 balloons with helium unless, of course, you're making an arch. In that case, you're going to want the DSSS because you're a decorator. This is really aimed at retail balloon bouquet making. That's it. So this would not be aimed for a decorator. This is literally just a retail helium balloon shop. The other really cool thing about this is that for some of these high volume shops like grocery stores or balloon boutiques that do a lot of traffic, PremiumConwin can actually take this machine and create a system for you where I think they call it a helium remote system, where the hose is like literally hidden and goes all the way to wherever your tank is in the store. So essentially this would be sunk into your counter, and all you would have, kind of like at Party City, for instance, all you would have would be this part of the machine showing. And so there is that capability if you want like custom solutions for your retail store. But this, guys, is very straightforward, very simple. Again, it's really aimed at the retail environment, not the decorator. And it's as simple as increasing or decreasing the counter to get the size of balloon that you want. Any questions on the Duplicator 2? Oh, there's no on-off switch. So you do have to plug it in and plug it out to turn it on and off.
I lost Joette.
Oh, really?
The questions aren't coming up here.
They're not coming up?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Okay.
So
But it says that her phone is low battery.
my phone? There's plenty of battery.
Okay.
Yeah. So question was no button to push. Oh, I'm sorry. There is a button here to push for retail to inflate latex balloons. So there is a push button here. Let's try that. But there's no there's no power off switch. So like, okay, cool. Yeah.
That does normally work. I don't know if it's working for you. I can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
No, but it, the other cool thing is, so when I do like my, I love this machine. When I do my 16-inch, because I'm too lazy to like figure out the number, I just do like 3 times and it makes a perfect 16 or 17-inch balloon. So like it's a consistent, and then okay, so I just paid like just $1 per half cubic feet here. So I'm like, okay, there's my $3. So it's great.
Yeah. That's awesome. That is exactly right. So the Duplicator 2 is great for consistent sizing in helium bouquets. So good point on the 16-inch balloons. So you just multiply the 0.93 times and you've got your perfectly sized 16-inch balloon. But in order to turn this off, you do have to unplug it because there's not like an on-off power switch. So it will stay on in your shop during the night unless you unplug it. But that's not a problem since the machine is not like in use. You do have to wait for like once you expel the gas, there's no motor in it. So yeah, actually it's, I don't even know what I was saying. It's not like you have to wait for it to breathe like you do on the Precision Air because it's a motor that has to go through its cycle before you can push the foot pedal again. This one is just inflate your balloon, tie it off, inflate your next one, and so on. So really simple, very easy to use. And again, before you unplug anything, obviously you want to make sure safety first, guys. Yeah, make sure. So you can see here, I've just expelled the gas and now we're on 0 pressure before I take this off. So you just want to make sure that you release any gas from the machine before unplugging or undoing anything. So that's the Duplicator 2. Guys, there are I believe there are other nozzles that you can buy for the Duplicator 2. And that would be like a 60/40. This is what you get standard when you buy the machine. You get just a regular latex plus the foil. The latex does come with the reducer nozzle. So for 260s, so for modeling balloons 5-inch, it does have that smaller nozzle. But there are other accessories that you can buy for this. There's a high float extension, which I don't have, but it looks like a swan neck. And basically it allows you to put high float in your balloon and then inflate your balloon without any high float slipping into the nozzle. Because if you do use high float on this with a regular nozzle, you do risk damaging your machine with pieces of high float or dried glue or even wet glue getting inside your machine and clogging it up. So anytime you are using high float, it's highly recommended that you use that high float extension neck. The other thing you can use on this is a 60/40 valve. You're going to see some of that stuff when I demonstrate the 10-foot extension hose, but there is a connection piece that you can purchase from your distributor that allows you to put 60% helium and 40% air. So it's a big money savings. You're literally saving 40% of your bill, your helium bill, and you're extending the life of the balloon because the helium essentially gets trapped in the middle of the balloon and the air sits on the outside. So that balloon actually lasts longer. Depending, of course, on the air. Like, so if you're in Colorado at higher elevations, you probably want to use more helium than you would in a 60/40 mix or a humid environment. So obviously you want to test that for the place that you live in. Okay,
so Liz, as you're switching to the other machine, I just wanted to share one tip. And that is when you guys are unplugging that quick fit, you may want to have a special tool in your toolbox in case you forget and leave air and pressure in there. You actually have to push down on that quick connect inside of it with a special little tool to be able to use it again. It's I learned that the hard way. So always make sure you've got that air totally out of your machine before you disconnect it.
Wow, that's a good point, Joette. Thank you. I didn't even realize that. I just naturally think like undo your helium, release the air, and then unplug any connection. So that's good to know for anyone that might forget that step. Okay, so for the DSSS, dual split-second sizer. It's much easier to say the DSSS. So that comes with the same connecting hose. So the same situation that we had with the first one. Your machine.
All right, guys, it looks like we may have lost our speaker. So just one second and I will work on that. While I'm doing that, Katie, I know you were about to top, so go ahead. I'm going to pause the recording.
Okay.
All right, you're good, Liz, for our dual split-second sizer.
Yes. I know, Joette, you said this is one of your favorite machines. You started out with this. This is amazing. This does basically this, if you're using any kind of gas and you're a decorator and you do helium bouquets, this is a one and done. This literally will do everything for you. So depending on if you have it attached to an air compressor and you're making an arch, or you're making a rainbow, or you have it attached to helium, this is absolutely phenomenal. One of the things I love about this machine, which I'll go into, I don't have a sample of it today, but when you're using, if you're a decorator and you do helium bouquets, this is literally the machine that will do, this is like a one-stop shop. This will do absolutely everything that you need. It comes with, there's a cool attachment piece that you can buy that allows you to switch immediately just by turning one valve from an air compressor or a nitrogen tank to a helium tank. So it's like really quite amazing, and it's an attachment that connects much like this, just right on the back here, and it has a valve that you literally can switch from one gas to the other. So really, really, really neat. The DSSS comes with the machine, plus the hose that we saw earlier, same hose, comes with a power cord and a foot pedal. Again, this one does not have an on-off switch. So once it's plugged in, it's basically on. So we're going to go ahead and connect this up. We're going to get everything loaded in here. And again, just like I was telling you with the Duplicator 2, it also comes, so this is how it comes standard with these two helium.
Hey guys, bear with us for a second. Looks like we've lost Liz one more time.
Here is challenging.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I was just saying that this machine does not have a power on-off switch. So again, when you have it plugged in, that means basically the machine is on at that point. Okay. So we'll go over all the fun buttons here in a second. Just get that out of the way. Okay. Again, the way you're going to connect this, very simple. You're just going to slide it right into place and you can hear it click. Okay. We're going to take the other part of our hose and connect it into the helium tank. Just threading it in like you normally would. Same connection that we had with the other tank. I guess I should have kept it in and used the quick connect to just swap out machines. It's like lining it up just right, isn't it? So guys, this machine is aimed towards the decorator. This is a decorator that does air-filled sized decor, helium arches, helium bouquets. This literally, this does everything that the Duplicator 2 can do and the Precision Air. So like the Precision Air, for those that aren't familiar with that, that's equivalent to like the twin air sizer, but it can inflate two balloons at two different sizes at the same time. So this does the same thing with whatever gas that you have it connected to. So really great for nitrogen, air, helium, whatever it is. So again, guys, I'm just turning on my tank. You can see that back there. Okay. And you can see the gauge here. You can see there is helium pressure inside there. So we have 4 different nozzles here. Okay. We've got 2 nozzles that are for helium latex balloons, or whatever gas you're using. Latex balloons, it comes, each of them come with the reducer nozzles. So if you're doing like inch or 160s, 260s, 350s, anything like that. But these nozzles are specifically on the front because they can be sized. You can actually set these for the timer function. I'll show you how that works in a second. The one on the back, this is just random. This is just push. So it will, I don't know if you can hear that, but it will literally just go as you need it. So this is push activated. These ones here are timer activated. So depending on the function that you're wanting or what you're trying to accomplish would determine which nozzle you basically want to use. This one here is also push activated. This is specifically designed for foil inflation. So just like any other standard foil inflator, it's going to stop when the pressure in that balloon is full. It will stop so that it doesn't pop your foil. So you have foil inflation here, you have non-timed latex inflation here, and then here you have the timer functions. And the way the timer function works, if you look at the front of the machine, it's really brilliant, you guys. It's very easy to understand. I don't know, can you see it okay? So if you are right here, it's like you have a little cheat sheet on exactly what function is working. So you can kind of tell by what is lit up. So right now, by pushing this button, I'm going to change the mode of what valve is basically functioning. And you just kind of repeat through 3 cycles. It's going to go mode 1, mode 2, mode 3 as you push along here. So you're going to see mode 1. So mode 1, we have individual balloons when inflating using the accessory outlet, which is this one here, the timer function. When this light is lit up, it means we're inflating on this one. And timer A, which is on this side, this is timer A, timer B, it's basically going to inflate only to 0.1. If I want to change that, I'm just increasing my timer function or decreasing it using the up and down arrow buttons. So if I go ahead and push the foot pedal, it's only going to inflate air out of this nozzle because you can see right now, I don't have the right side lit up. So watch, I'm gonna put a balloon on both sides and you're gonna see that this one will inflate on the left side only. Okay. So this one had no air coming out of it. If I change the mode again, now let's see, what did that do? Hang on. So that's where I was. Okay. So here's where I was. If I change it again, it's going to put the right outlet on with timer B. So I can literally do, we don't want to go there. 2 different sizes now, both timed. So now you can see at the same time, I got one sized at one side and another side sized at a different size. If I change it again, it's going to just do my left outlet and the right outlet is not timed. I don't think. Let's try this. Oh, no, it's timed. Okay, so it did both. But timer A was on. So it basically timed them to the same size. It didn't take into account any timer that I had on the right-hand side. So this application is really great for when you're making like the rainbows that have the curves and you need like a 9-inch and a 7-inch to create that like inner curve. But obviously, you want this attached to an air compressor if you're doing that function, unless you need a floating rainbow, which I imagine would be very expensive. So, yeah, that's basically the simplicity of the Dual Split-Second Sizer. Again, this is aimed entirely at decorators because it has the function of the Helium latex timer and getting that like smaller, rounder look. And of course, inflating 2 balloons at the same time, you don't need necessarily ribbon to like tie a helium bouquet. So if you were doing a helium bouquet, you would only want one side going at a time for your helium and then tie your ribbon directly to it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everyone?
Yep.
Any questions? Any questions on the dual split-second sizer?
One of the questions is, can you use the 60-40 valve on both? Like I know on my machine, I was able to do that. Are you still able to do that and put the 60-40 in the top?
Yes. So those valves, whether or not they're interchangeable is I'm not 100% sure. But when you go to your distributor's website or our website even, it'll tell you which nozzle you need. Like it'll say like 60/40 for the DSSS or for the Duplicator 2. I believe that they're interchangeable. Don't quote me on that, but I do believe that one would work on the other. But yeah, you could get the 60/40 valve for this as well. It just comes as like an additional like accessory to buy on top of the machine. But I would say, Jules, when we bought the 60/40, we bought a 60/40 for our helium tank here, and that was the best investment we ever made, because we were now getting about 700 balloons out of a tank rather than our 400 that we were getting from full helium. So that alone was a total game changer and total money saver. If you're using helium and you're not using a 60/40, you're leaving money on the table. I promise. That was one of the first things I learned in the balloon industry, was the magic of 60/40. And believe me, it made our balloons last longer, using high float, of course, but and it saved us a lot of money in the long run. So very, very good.
Cool. And just one caveat on that, because we do have people watching with this knowledge, is it depends on how close you are to sea level. If you are in a place where you're at like 3,500 feet up in the mountains, they often have to use 100% helium, because the 60/40 will not give enough lift where the air pressure is lower. So just something to know about, like where you are sea level wise, and test the 60/40 out in your area.
Absolutely. Okay, so I just want to show you this really quick, guys. So you can see the valve is fully inflated, right? Like the gauge is there. So there's definitely pressure in this hose right now. So we're going to turn off our helium tank here at the connection point, and we're just going to release helium. It could be from any of these outlets, but you can see as I did that, it released the pressure from the gauge. So now we no longer have pressure in this hose, which now makes it safe to disconnect this. So you want to, like Joette said, you don't want to necessarily do that when there's pressure in the hose.
I also usually would disconnect it from the helium tank first, just so one of my staff didn't accidentally turn it on. So that's what happened one time, is they opened the tank after we had disconnected.
Very good point. So yeah, safety first, guys. Whenever you're dealing with gases and heliums and these large tanks, we know we need to be mindful of connection points and all of those things so that everyone is safe. Okay, so also another really cool thing about the DSSS is it comes with this really cute tote. So it comes with this padded insulated bag. On the inside has all the instructions. It's just a really cool carry case, because again, this is for a decorator, and sometimes you've got to, this is one of your more expensive machines, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend taking this out of the shop, but it is designed for a decorator. So if you are on site and you're needing to take it with you, it does come with that really cool carry case. Okay, guys, so last but not least, this is one of my favorite tools that not a lot of people necessarily know about, but if you're doing helium and you don't necessarily want to invest in these are expensive. This is like the high end of the equipment line. This is the Maserati of equipment, okay? This is a really great alternative. This is the 10-foot combo pack. And basically what this is a regulator that attaches to your helium tank, but gives you the functionality of a trigger gun, which is great for filling like bubbles inside balloons, but also great for high pressure inflation, like inflating an orb or a bubble. It also comes with a tilt valve, which, is just, easy inflation for latex or foils, though this one doesn't necessarily automatically stop for foils. It comes with the 60/40 valve, you guys. This is really brilliant, and I'm going to show you how this all connects. But it comes with this 60/40 valve. You see it has that hole there in the middle to allow air to come in. So literally all you have to do is push down on the inflator and it automatically mixes that air and helium mix for you. You don't have to do anything. What I like about this also is I have found sometimes when the event is like a few days in the future and I want to put maybe a little extra helium, I still use my 60/40 valve, but I can easily cover the holes here by pinching it with my fingers and allowing full helium to go through if I chose that to be the case. So this is a really good money saver. And then the other one that it comes with is the valve, the push valve. So this is great for your foil balloons because it won't allow it to pop. It will stop automatically. The other thing is when using this, it has that nice tapered like neck on it that allows it to go into the neck of the balloon without damaging the valve. But if you have a bubble that requires like higher inflation or higher pressure, all you have to do is push this gold button down and it will allow that balloon to fully inflate without stopping like it would with the pressure of a foil balloon. So this bypasses that function and allows more air to flow through. So let me show you this. Basically, this is everything you get with that combo kit, right? So you get the connection to the tank and you get that easy connection valve. So here's how simple it is. How simple it is to connect to and from the pieces that you want. You literally, they pop off like it's how cool is that? Woo! That's fun. But this is like made so simply and so well for like anyone to literally use this. You guys, this connects like directly into your tank and gives you the functions, of really good regulators and abilities to inflate your balloons, your helium balloons, without a high price tag. So I don't know what this costs on the Brody's website, but I don't think it's more than maybe $200 max. But yeah, like super cool, you guys. Oh, yeah, and that's what Joette was saying. Make sure the air is out of it. So
on the 10-foot extension hose inflator combo, it's $343.
$343. Okay, so it's a little pricey, but
because it's a lot. Because it's what, like 5 different things.
5 different functions, and you guys, you get the standard. So like right here, not only do you get the gauge to measure your tank, but it also comes with the standard latex inflation plus the connector tip to do the modeling balloons and smaller balloons. Of course, the disc holder and then the ribbon cutter as well. So yeah, these things are so great for foils, for bubbles, orbs, latex. This whole combo kit will literally allow you to inflate anything. Like if you're attached to a nitrogen tank and you're doing like balloon decor for a parade, for instance, this gives you all the capabilities of inflating any balloon with your nitrogen. Guys, right now I have this wrapped up because I haven't like fully opened it, but this also gives you the ability to walk away from this tank 10 feet. So it has a 10-foot hose on it, so you can get to like, you can be comfortable, whatever you're doing. If you have large balloons that you're inflating, you can certainly do that. But this kit is really, really great for, if you're not wanting to necessarily invest in the sizing options and you just need a helium option to use a tank. This is a really good versatile kit to use because again, it allows you to do bubbles, foils, trigger gun is fun for high pressure, but also that long neck to getting inside bubbles and inflating double bubbles, if that makes sense. So that's everything. Helium, guys. So the Duplicator 2, just to recap, is more for retail environments that are just working on like balloon bouquets. The DSSS, that machine, depending on if you connect it to an air compressor or helium tank or nitrogen, that's capable of doing everything that any of our machines can do. Like that, the DSSS is capable of doing everything the twin air can do. It's capable of doing everything the precision air can do. It's capable of doing everything the Duplicator 2 can do. So I would consider the DSSS the absolute top of the line, like the machine to get if you want all the bells and whistles. Duplicator 2, perfect retail for just helium bouquets only. And then this is a great option for having all the different tools available to inflate helium or any kind of gas. Questions?
Woo, woo. Lots of information. Thank you, Liz.
You're welcome.
One thing I just did put a note in for you in Facebook Messenger to check off when we're done. So guys, before Liz says goodbye today and I open it up for other Q&A, are there any questions you have about the machine she showed today? Because I know it's always the tough part as a balloon company is deciding which thing do we buy and what's the best for our business. So I always encourage people to think about it. Like if you're not typically having to blow up 2 balloons at the same time, the exact size, then you wouldn't need the dual split. And then the duplicator would be better. But if you're like, ooh, there are times where people are asking me to do huge balloon arches over 40 feet long, and I can't do framing bigger than that, then yes, having that helium ability to do 2 at once. That's where I started with my dual split, is back in the day making really big helium balloon arches. And then I also just really loved it working with a air compressor or I prefer a nitro tank over the noise of an air compressor. All right. Kristen says, I have a question. Will PremiumConwin ever put a push button on machines in addition to the foot pedal? This is something I have heard from a lot of other people, that a lot of people get fatigued from doing the foot pedal, and they would prefer that when they're going to inflate the balloons, that there be a button at the top. So just something to take back to Conwin.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I'm going to put that in an email. So we do have like a product development team that takes all of your suggestions and ideas, and you guys, they are making a next generation machine, and they are thinking about all the things that you guys need and want in a machine, all the little handy bells and whistles. So that's a really good point. And I'm like, literally when we're done here, I'm going to send them an email to consider that. But that's a really good idea. I know that the little Dual Air 2 has that push button, but I think that's maybe the only machine that we have that does that. So I do like that.
I think your Smart Twist does. Maybe
on the Smart Twist. That's right. Yeah, the Smart Twist. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
So guys, and a tip from one of the folks is to tie your pedal on the top of your equipment as you transport it to help keep. All right. And so what I want to do is just real quick share this while you guys let me know if there's any other questions that you have for Liz. Is that Brody's is our sponsors for Balloon Boss Summit. We have a lot of distributors who are sponsors, but Brody's has been with me since 2016, providing the inflation equipment for Balloon Boss Summit and our other hands-on training. So what will happen is before the event, you'll be able to know what we're going to be using at Balloon Boss Summit. And anybody who has a ticket to Summit, you can purchase the equipment in advance and say, okay, I'm walking away with this piece of equipment. We'll be using it at Summit to inflate with. Liz will be using it at her station to show people, that kind of thing. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, go to BalloonCoach.com. Click on Summit. And as we said, Liz is going to be one of our 30 amazing instructors for a full week to work not only on increasing your confidence in creating balloons, but in selling them. So wanted to make sure you guys know all that information is there on BalloonCoach.com. And let's see if any other questions came in. So guys, anybody who's watching this as a replay, in the future, you can always join us live and then be able to have your questions answered. I'm going to stop the recording because sometimes people who are on live have questions that don't come up during the conversation. Oh, is there any info on the differences with the Smart Sizer? I'm not sure what that means.
The Smart Sizer, we're not like manufacturing anymore. So because it's not a machine that they want me to promote because we're not making it anymore. I don't know all of the ins and outs. I guess it's kind of like a twin air sizer, but it takes gas, right? So like you can inflate it with helium. But so
The dual split is
I
the main machine that you're sticking
the
with, correct?
yeah, because it has more capabilities than the smart sizer does. Yes.
Cool. And so I think one of those capabilities is with the dual split. Now you're able to do two different sizes at the same time. I think that's one of those capabilities. All right, guys. So again, if you want to ask questions in the future, come join us live. And I'm going to pause the recording while we still have Liz on the line. Go to BalloonCoach.com with any other questions and to join us at Balloon Boss Summit or in our online training, Balloon Boss Mastermind. If you have other questions, email Joette at BalloonCoach.com.